Discover unbeatable deals and convenience at your neighborhood family fare supermarkets. Score exclusive deals, earn rewards, join clubs, and clip digital coupons for extra savings all in one place. Our exclusive offers bring savings straight to your card. Explore a wide range of local products that support your community. With easy pickup and delivery options, saving time and grocery shopping has never been easier. Family Fare is all about making your grocery experience easy and affordable and your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. Family Fare in your neighborhood.
In times of old, in times of new, there's a God to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field, man, world.
Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic and surprising episode of the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and fun.
Well, tell me why is... Oh, sorry.
No, I got to get creative in the beginning because I have no idea what's ahead.
Yeah, no. Why is that, Izzy? Because
today, it's a surprise episode. Magic Voice Chris has graced us with... he's given us something. I don't know what it is, but he made the episode today. We are not privy to the details.
You guys have no idea. So this episode is a surprise episode. You have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but I know. I know all. All right, this is a big power trip for me, so don't ruin it.
That's good. In other words, we couldn't come up with a good episode idea, so we let Chris do whatever he wants.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, look, we've done a lot of episodes. This is episode, I think, what we were talking about. This is like the 78th one we've done, not including Patreon episodes. We got a lot. We've talked about a lot of stuff, so why not? And
this is like our Morty's mind blowers. We just kind of let it fly.
Yeah. And so these questions, they're going to be all over the place. There's no theme. There's no reasons. It's just a bunch of surprise questions that you guys have to answer, or else. I don't know what the or else is. I didn't. I just put an ellipses. So
you had me going there for a second.
Yeah, I like to keep you on your toes. All right, you ready?
I am
Let's
ready.
do it, man. The best thing
I'm
about
an
this
open
episode,
book.
I didn't have to prepare for it. So
Yeah, I'm an open book. I do not mind answering any question.
Well, these aren't like deeply personal questions.
Okay, well,
they're fun, or at least I hope you don't view them as such.
This is just Chris's a desperate and secret cry for intimacy. Intimate relationship.
So, if we were laying in bed together, would I be Big Spoon or Little Spoon?
You would be Big Spoon, Chris, because I love being Little Spoon.
Thanks, bud.
Be Hairy Spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not
Little
that
Spoon
hairy.
is the best job.
Just because I have a beard doesn't mean I'm like super hairy. I'm not. Anyway, all right, here we go. First question: where do you draw the line with violence in movies/games? Like, how gory is too gory, or how violent is too violent?
Interesting. I think. You want me to start?
This is purely like personal. It doesn't there's nothing political about this. It's just strictly for you. And you can even give an example of I saw blank and it was too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't really. I'm a pretty violent guy, so there's not a lot.
Not having a line is a line.
Yeah, that's a line. I'm sure there is a line out there where it's just I don't know. Once I figure it out, I'll tell you.
So you haven't even seen anything that would cross your line?
I guess if it crossed a huge line of morality,
no, not like morality. I'm just saying you saw something and it made you wince, or it made you not want to watch anymore because it was too violent. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't have a line. I guess.
How about
you, Izzy? Are you a human being?
My line, I draw my line at the toilet. Or I guess maybe at, there's something about human degradation. I will never watch The Human Centipede.
That's a hard to watch. That's a hard watch, I'll tell you.
Yeah, because there's one thing the whole torture porn era was really distasteful. I've never seen any of the Hostel movies. Yeah, just because it's the degradation, sewing someone's mouth to another person's behind. And then sewing somebody else's mouth. It's what are we doing here? Why? Why?
I wanted to be in the room.
This up,
I wanted to be in the room when they pitched that idea.
Yeah, Yeah, so I guess it's anything having to do with there's a certain level of degradation to another human from a human being to another human being.
I guess I'm there with you.
Yeah, I can't do that.
No eating poo poo.
It's for me. It's like torture. I can't watch people being tortured. It's really hard for me to. If it's in the context of like in the movie Syriana, George Clooney's getting tortured. He's getting like his fingernails pulled off. I can handle that, but I've literally never watched any of the Hostel movies, and I'll never watch Human Centipede because that's just like it's sadistic to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple movies out there. Like, I don't like the Saw series that much.
Yeah,
I guess I'm there. Like, I can watch it. Like, it's not a problem. Like, have you ever heard? Have you ever heard of the movie A Serbian Film?
You've mentioned this before.
You've mentioned this before.
Oh my goodness. It's banned in a lot of countries for not that shocking of a reason. It's like that. It basically rides on the line of like torture porn. And it's just like stuff like that. Like, honestly, I watch it just to say I've watched it, but like, did I enjoy it? Or was it a movie that I would like to sit down and watch with somebody? Not whatsoever. But I guess I would draw the line at those. Like, I'm not into like the Human Centipede was just a watch to say I saw it, and it was just super weird. And like the second one is way worse than the first one.
There's another one.
There's actually
a sequel. There's a third one.
There's a third one. It's like, so the first one is like, 3 people, and the second one is actually a fan of the movie who tries to recreate it with like 13 or 14 different people. Like, the guy's like obviously mentally gone or whatnot. And then the third one is like a guy who's in charge of a prison, and he wants to turn all the prison inmates into a line. I haven't seen the third one, but the second one is like, dude, there's some fucked up stuff that happens in it. But like, yeah, I guess I draw the line at that because those movies aren't enjoyable. Like, Serbian Film is like, I watched it as a joke because retelling what happens in that movie, people don't believe it. It's like, you do not believe it at all. And you're like, you literally made a movie like that? And I was like, I didn't, but it's a real movie. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't rewatch that movie if you paid me because it's just like, dude, this is
you can't unsee those things. Like, it may not come up very often, but once you see something in a movie, it's always going to be in your head somewhere.
Yeah.
And I just rather not risk it.
Yeah, no. Don't watch a Serbian film unless you're like really fucked up and you like want to say you watch it. But I just would not watch.
That's like there was this thing on the internet called the Gauntlet for a while, and it was a series of videos, and like, could you go through all of these videos? And they got progressively worse. And I never did it because I was like, I'm not gonna do that. But I heard about it, and I was just like, who? It's basically a series of videos that you would never want to watch, but you can't ever unsee.
Ugh. Sure.
So I'm like, why would you do that to yourself?
Like the BME Pain Olympics.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? It's just dudes just mutilating their fucking dicks for like competition. Yeah, that was terrible. But I guess that's where I draw the line. Yeah, mutilating my membrane. I guess that's where I draw the line.
There you go. It's that we found your line. I'm happy now. All right, next question. This one's a lot less. Whatever that last question was, this one's the opposite. If you're going to get a cybernetic implant, what would it be and why?
Good question. Cybernetic implant. I don't know. The first thing my mind comes to is just automatic wiener. Like machine gun wiener. But I know that's just, the child inside me just be like, yeah, I got a machine gun wiener.
You could never use it. What situation are you going to use that?
Well, I'm saying instead of machine gun, it's just like a jackhammer. I don't have to thrust. It just thrusts by itself. It doesn't get any bigger.
A pleasurable thing.
Oh, I thought you meant you wanted your penis to be able to shoot bullets.
Oh.
Like Sex Machine from Industrial Dawn.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it would just be like automated wiener.
Oh, okay. You want a pneumatic penis.
Pneumatic penis, I guess, so I wouldn't have to do any of the work.
You just go to town. You're like they're like texting. You're like, well, you're
it's just like it's like a dildo attached to a power drill or like a quickie saw. But no, I wouldn't want that. That's just the first thing my mind went.
All right, Israel, what would you want? We'll give Cam a little bit more time to think of something reasonable.
My first reaction is kind of like Translucent from The Boys, where it's at you touch a button, or if you activate it and it's predator like camouflage or invisibility, and it even like masks your heat signature. You just can't be seen by optics or the naked eye. That'd be really cool. Just like translucent skin, or have a variety where it can be translucent or it could be like camouflage. Wherever you're at, it would blend in, to the surrounding.
Now, why do you want that other than it'd be cool?
I mean, the only reason that I can think of for having a cybernetic implant would be if I was doing some sort of military application. Yeah. So that's I'm not going to just have a cybernetic implant I'll go change like my own tires, or I'll surf the internet if I want to without a phone jack to my brain. But if I'm doing something like an implant, I'm thinking tactical, so.
Okay. Cam, did you come up with something less penis-y?
Yeah, I think I did. I don't know. It's like, it's very interesting because there's just so many options. Like, that's such a hard question. It's like, I'm going to have this forever,
Well, you have tattoos.
Yeah, but those are a different story. Because I only can get one. I guess for an implant, I don't know. I'm thinking something ocular, like an eyeball that can zoom in and detect things and detect like thermal signatures and whatnot, or just I don't know. That's kind of stupid now that I'm explaining, because I could get my knees done and be 6'3", or adjustable height. That would be sick.
Or what about special muscle strands that make you super strong?
Yeah, like having the Mortal Kombat, what's that guy's arms?
Jax?
That are complete. Yeah, Jack's arms. Yeah. That'd be cool. That's what I'm saying. It's too much to think about.
You have too many options.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, I can get cybernetic arms. I get cybernetic legs that let me jump and run super fast.
But then you have to get follow-on cybernetic implants, because if I could punch really hard, but I don't have reinforced skeleton,
you
or
just
skin,
break your hand every time you punch.
Break my own hand. So.
Yeah, I guess
better
the
to stick with the
cool.
pneumatic wiener.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the pneumatic wiener.
That's fair enough. Okay.
Next question.
What's your hot take on the MCU/Star Wars or / any franchise that you'd like to talk about? What's your hot take? What's your unpopular opinion, or, kind of like what you were saying in the other episode about Andor, how you're is this Star Wars? Like that. What's your hot take on these pop culture franchises? It can be any one that you want.
Ugh, that's a good one. I feel like, unfortunately, I'm kind of in a bubble when it comes to the commentary that I consume on the MCU and the Star Wars franchises. But I'm sure there are a lot of people that like the direction that Star Wars is going. Oh, shoot, man. I don't know. It's hard to decide between Marvel Cinematic Universe or Star Wars.
Or it could be the Lord of the Rings with the Rings of Power, or Game of Thrones with the new House of Dragons. It could be any franchise you want.
Okay.
Don't limit yourself. Or Harry Potter. If you have a hot take on Harry Potter and you're turns out it sucks.
Cameron, I felt you wanted to speak when he talked about the Rings of Power.
Rings of Power, man. I guess I can do a hot take on this one. I'm very split down it. Just because, I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, as you all know. It's not a true Tolkien, as, a lot of the elitists say. But, I still go back and I still watch The Hobbits just because it's still part of Lord of the Rings. And I enjoy every element of it, regardless of, whether that was correct or this was absolutely correct. Because at the end of the day, it's it's a piece of literature, right? It was made up. This isn't an actual event that they're fucking up. So, but then again, there is the other thing where it's okay, well, if you're taking Tolkien's work, you better treat it well and you better do it right. Or at least stay to the course that you think they would have taken. With the new Rings of Power, you can definitely tell that a lot of money went into making it. The set designs, the costumes, the cinematography is breathtaking. All those elements are whoa. That, took a lot of manpower, and that took a lot of time. As far as the story goes right now, I'm still kind of figuring it out. it's not based off the Silmarillion. It's based off the appendices or something like that. But I still like. I don't like how they gave the orcs like a sense of humanity. Like with the new like villain guy. What's his freaking name? I always forget it because I don't really give a shit. I'm just watching it, hoping it gets better. But yeah, they like try to give the orcs like a sense of humanity, like, they are a dying race that deserves to live among us too. And I'm not really the type of guy that like likes to see political, under ties in every single thing. But it's like, okay, no. If you ever watch the Jacksons, like all the Jackson ones, like the orcs are supposed to be like ruthless, like they don't even care about each other. I mean, like they literally eat each other. Like, they like the Uruk-hai when meat's back on the menu. They weren't like, yeah, I know you're hungry, friend, but like, we're in this together. No, they're like, they literally decapitated him and they all shredded him, eating his body whole. But like, in the Rings of Power, he's just like, orcs deserve to be here too. And it's just like, shut the fuck up, dude. That pissed me off so much. But then again, I'm like, it shows how Mordor was like, came to be, which is still kind of, sparks my curiosity. But like there is actually no record of the main villain that they're using in all of Tolkien's work. They kind of just like made him up in a way, just to kind of give the backstory of where the orcs came from, because he's one of the original Uruk. But yeah, I'm just waiting for the last episode because they just showed a Balrog popped up. And I think that's pretty cool. So I hope they like go somewhere and like end it really strong, because it's been like, it's been like super mediocre. It's nothing, okay. I've been going crazy over. But yeah, that's a long hot take, I guess.
No, that's you just find it mediocre and you think it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I think it could have been totally better. But I'm not gonna like stop watching it. I still want to see how it ends and whatnot.
That's because you're a sucker.
Yeah, because I'm a sucker. Right?
It's okay, I'm a sucker too.
Yeah, are you watching it?
No, I haven't. I was just waiting till it was all done. I don't like, now that binge watching has become what it is, I don't like the weekly release, because I'm like,
yeah, it's annoying.
If I just wait 10 weeks, I can watch it at my pace, and if I'm really into it, I can just blow through it.
Yeah, it's kind of a spit in the face that I wait every Friday for disappointment.
There you go.
Yeah,
man, that's your hot take. Izzy, how about you? Did you come up with something? If you don't, I could stall a little bit and tell you what my thing is.
Okay, no, I got one. My hot take is my overall assessment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that they shot their shot, and it's all good ideas have been had.
Hey, we have the same hot take. I think they don't know what they're doing with this next phase or whatever, and they're just like
2 or 3 phases. Yeah.
Oh, they're just pulling shit out of their ass, and they're just like, I guess we'll do this, and I know that they probably have a plan to tie it all together, but it's all just really like blah. I don't really care about much of it.
Yeah. So I'll give you what, Fantastic Four, Quantumania, Blade, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Captain Marvel 2, Black Panther, Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man Eternal, Shang-Chi, Black Widow. Okay, so going in the reverse order. I don't care about any of these except for maybe Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I don't care about they lost me on the shows. Like Moon Knight had some high points to it, but they can't get away from whatever is, I don't know, man. Ironheart, Secret Invasion, don't care. Groot, don't care. Holiday Special, Guardians of the Galaxy, don't care.
Wait, they're
Armor
giving
Wars,
Groot his own movie?
I never thought that I would ever get to a point in my life where I didn't care about a comic book movie, because it was just like such an amazing thing that they did with the first 10 years of Marvel. And like, it's just, I don't know if like they shot their shot. There's not nothing. It's not going to get any better than it was the first 10 years.
I would even argue that they did too good a job with that first 10 years. They did such a good job.
Yeah, they did.
That now anything they do just is going to pale in comparison.
And they're not doing themselves any favors with the current kind of cultural trend of like EDI, equity, diversity, inclusion. That is a stated goal of theirs, and not that those things can't be present, obviously, in any movie or most movies or entertainment franchises, but that that goal is higher than
actual making a good movie.
Yeah, the main, we say just make a good movie, but what do we mean by that? We mean the classic time-honored rules of filmmaking and storytelling. Those things are not as important as casting such and such skin color, such and such sexuality, such and such political points of view, making some sort of message, all the She-Hulk or whatever. The kind of like the whole like handoff stuff that they're doing with like Thor and Hawkeye and doing the whole Ironheart thing. It's their creativity. It's all kind of gone now, and that's not the point. The point is not to try something new or to explore the universal and timeless aspects of human nature. It is, we got to cast this kind of person. We got to tell this kind of social story based on the current cultural trend. That's what their goal is,
Yeah,
and
they made the politics and things like that the focal point, as opposed to just
making a good movie.
Feature.
Yeah.
I was gonna almost take that as my entire hot take. Was just like, you can't make a good movie right now. You have to make it include some sort of cultural trend, social trend, and because they're more
unless you're Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, unless you're Top Gun Maverick or Terminal-less, and you don't give a flying fuck. But,
this is what is making me kind of rethink my whole opinion about Star Wars. Not my whole opinion, but a large portion of there was an interview that James Cameron did with George Lucas, and he talked about the messaging that he wanted to have in his movies, the original Star Wars movies. And it was like the Empire was America. It was American imperialism. Like, well, I never got that from watching the movies, but the fact that he wanted to put social commentary into his movies, and then you go back and look at all these old shows and old, movies and old books, and like, oh, it was all social commentary, and it was usually coming from one side of the aisle, and it's like, man, I just kind of have to face up that's the reality of it. And so they're just doing it in not as skilled a way these days.
Yeah, I mean, social commentary has always been a part of like comic books. It's always been a part of films and TV shows, absolutely. But
it
was more subtle. It was woven into the fabric of it instead of like a punch in the face. Which I think that's the part that chafes people, is that they don't mind social commentary. They mind that it's like, look at this
Jammed
thing.
Down
Look,
your
see,
throat,
see.
Yeah, it's
it's
the
ham-fisted.
She-Hulk.
Yeah, She-Hulk very ham-fisted.
Literally telling the Hulk about why she's angry all the time because she's so set upon by the world around her, and that's why she's angry.
Yeah.
Is that really what's in the show?
Is
that really what's in the She-Hulk?
That's literally, she has a monologue.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
My problem with She-Hulk is they break the fourth wall in like an obnoxious way. Anyway, last question. And then we'll get into the fan question. What's your $1 million idea for a military movie / video game / TV show?
Oh God, this is right on the spot here. $1 million.
Have you ever thought, and you were like, well, like when I said they should have made Independence Day the sequel, they should have made it like blank. Have you ever had an idea like that where you're like, I mean, I've probably heard you tell things like this in other shows where you said, I want them to make a military movie like blank. It doesn't actually have to make $1 million.
Or cost. I thought I was thinking cost $1 million.
No,
it's just a saying. It's just a phrase.
Yeah, just what's your good idea about a military movie, video game, or TV show, or what would you like to see?
Interesting. Or what would I like to see? I mean, there's so many good military operations out there. Like they just made a movie that I want to go see called The Greatest Beer Run Ever. Have you heard about it?
It's on Apple. Mm-hmm.
Heard about it. Yeah.
It's on Apple. Yeah, it's about Zac Efron, and his goal is to literally deliver American beers to troops in Vietnam. I think that's a killer story, and it's based off true events. But I'm like trying to narrow down.
Well, it's what I would love to see is that I've always been a fan of. So there's airship scenarios. There's Nazca, the Valley of the Wind. There's The Last Exile. These are all anime series and movies. There's even something like Howl's Moving Castle or Final Fantasy VII where you get the airships. A lot of Final Fantasies, you get the airships where you fly around, and there's like air combat. That's always really fascinating me. That's like really exciting to me. So I would love to have a grounded war movie, but it's in a fictional Earth where like sometime in the future, like the surface of the Earth has been contaminated by some sort of, I'm sure it's some sort of climate change related thing. And we can't stay there anymore. And so we have to fight in the air. And there are only certain parts of high altitudes that are still livable, but they're very uncomfortable because they're like mountainous. But it's like a pilot, and it's, and he's like an ace, and, it's some sort of like, you'd have to worry about like fuel and things like that. So there'd have to be some sort of magical resource that they discovered to keep them all flying. But I just like the idea of like being up in the air and up in the clouds. Air to air combat has always really fascinated me. Top Gun Maverick, and I'm really excited for Devotion, which I've talked about ad nauseum on this show.
Yeah,
but
November 23rd.
November 23rd, baby. But they were bombers, so I guess it's not totally air. But there's air to air combat. So, and I don't think the airship ship to ship combat idea has been thoroughly explored. And I've had this idea in my head for decades. This guy, I've like thought it all out. He crashes, meets a woman, has a relationship, and then decides to go back because his duty to his men is greater than his desire for safety and peace. It's a whole like morality tale about duty, of a soldier or a pilot or whatever. So, so it's like, that's like my $1 million little idea.
I'm on board. We'll talk more about this later, and I'll help you write it. Cameron?
Yeah.
Izzy, was it you I was with when I explained my time capsule movie?
That doesn't sound, it might sound familiar if you explained it.
It sounds familiar to me. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it all hit me because I totally just came up with this. Was it you? Yeah, I think I was. I don't know. Okay, but I'll explain the premise of this movie. So I'm writing this movie currently. No, I'm not, but I came up with this idea for a film. So it takes place like 200 years down the line, right? There's a one government, or like a one world government, like completely imperialistic society, like everybody's under one rule. And there is the protagonist, which is about a teenage boy. And, as he's, there's all this routine shit going on. Like everybody gets the same amount of money. Like everybody's working like in squalor and stuff because the high class elites are like ruling over the world. But then there's as this young kid is like cleaning up, he comes across this like note from like a great grandfather with coordinates on it. And, one day he just packs up, like escapes from his like school or whatnot and decides to find this place. And he finds it and he starts digging and he unearths like this kind of like old school nuclear war or like Cold War bunker. And he goes inside, and inside is like a bunch of guns and like all things that we cherish like as Americans now. And on the wall, like he's looking at everything, there's cobwebs, and he's like, what are these things? Because guns have been banned, like everything's been banned, like freedom has pretty much been banned. And he like looks on the wall, or not on the wall, but like there's this little area that has like a book sitting there. And he goes over and he sees it and he reads it, and it says United States Constitution. And he's like, what the heck is this? They stopped teaching, like I don't know what this says. And he opens and starts reading it, and he starts realizing, he's like, wait, are you telling me like we used to be free? Like they stopped teach, like it's basically far enough in the future to where all the schools are like on one program. They cut out everything that they wanted to teach, and like nobody talks about it anymore, and like everybody's on one thing. But so they didn't really teach about freedom or whatnot. And he reads it and he like looks back, and there's all these weapons back there, like fucking everything. And then he like goes to the place where he's at. He's like, we used to be free. And everyone's like, what? And they like start a rebellion with all the guns and this thing, and then they fight for freedom. America comes back again.
That's great.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I can't put that on myself.
Yeah, I like it too, man.
Room for improvement.
Yeah,
but it's a rough idea right now.
No, that's good. That's fun.
It's a rough idea. Yeah.
Lots of good themes in there. All right. Well, that's all the questions I wrote.
Okay.
That was very fun.
Good job, Chris. Way to put us on the spot there a couple times, man.
Really creative get to know you questions, like road trip questions,
Yeah, road trip questions.
We'll do this again sometime down the road. Maybe we'll do it as a Patreon episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
But for the fan question, this is from Captain Nuts 54 via Instagram. If you had to go back and you couldn't join the same branch you joined, what would your next choice have been? Or not branch, but even like speciality.
Easy answer. Easy answer.
I think you've talked about this before.
Yeah, join the Air Force, and I'd try to become a CCT. Easy answer.
I would join the Air Force, and I'd be a pararescue jumper. Because those are dudes that I have great respect for as a Green Beret.
Yeah, and like I've worked with enough CCTs to be like, oh, you think Rangers are the ones that get the most kills? Dead wrong. Yeah.
All right, that was an easy question. I
That was
thought
easy.
you were going to be like, but you had that answer in your back pocket.
Oh yeah, no. I've answered this question so many times before that like I'm like so confident about it. Actually, my goal when I got out of active duty was when I joined the National Guard. At first, I wanted to go to 19th Group, which is Special Forces in the National Guard, and I wanted to become an 18 Echo, which is what Izzy did in SF, and I wanted to go get JTAC qualified so I could run as my team's JTAC, so we wouldn't have to pull a CCT. I could be it. That was my goal until I found my lovely fiance, and now I'm very happy.
All right, well, that's it for questions. Well, not all questions, because now we have the game.
The game.
Yeah. You ready for the game? I'm the game master.
You're the
Rock
game
and roll,
master?
man.
I am ready.
So there's no more surprises for this game. This is all stuff you should know about each other.
Oh.
No.
So I'm going to ask you each to answer questions about the other person.
Interesting. Okay.
It may be the hardest game I've ever come up with. I don't know. There's no warm up.
Oh
And
god.
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each of you a question, then the other person will tell you if the answer is correct. Okay? So for
Okay.
Cam, how long did Israel serve in the military?
6 years.
Close.
5 years. I'm sorry. 5 years.
5 years. 4 years, 10 months. My answer standard is about 5 years.
All right, so that's
I'm
0
sorry,
for
bro.
Cam.
I'm a terrible person.
All right, Israel, how long was Cam deployed in Syria?
Ooh. Man. Now my deployment was 9 months. 6 months.
No.
Ah, dang it. Man.
Rangers do 4-month deployments.
4 month deployment. I know that, but I thought it was longer for some reason.
No.
Man.
No. It's okay.
Man, we gotta start paying attention.
We gotta pay more attention. Well, you were in, what is it, 2005? You got out 2010.
Correct.
Okay.
To that December of 2009, if you want to be specific, but I say 2010. So.
Okay.
All right, for Cam,
Yes.
what game is Israel currently playing or played most recently on his stream?
Oh my god, are you serious? Okay.
I mean, he just played it today, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Did you play it today?
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Monday.
replaying the Halo franchise?
I am.
But not
What did we
today.
play? What did we? Well, yes. No. What did we play today? Which one did we play today?
Oh, so
Just-
it is part of the Halo franchise.
Yeah, we just started it.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure you were just on Reach. So I would
No.
say you weren't just on Reach?
No. Well, we were on Reach like weeks ago.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm going to say Halo 4.
Incorrect. Halo Infinite is when we started today.
Halo
we started
Infinite.
Oh, wow, you've
Yeah.
caught up.
Yeah. Halo. What did you have?
Me? I didn't have an
Yeah.
answer. Again,
okay.
I didn't put answers to these because you guys know the answers.
We should know.
Halo Infinite. Is Halo Infinite the newest one?
It's the newest
latest
one, yeah.
We've gone through.
Oh, I didn't even know this was the
Reach,
newest one. I thought
1,
4
2,
was the last one.
ODST 3, 4, 5. We skipped. We've
There's a
only played about
5?
3-4 hours of 5. Yeah, because it wasn't very good, so I just skipped right into Infinite.
Did you play, what was that Halo game that uses the same format as StarCraft?
Oh, Halo Wars. No, we didn't play Halo Wars.
You
I'm
didn't
not a
play
big
Halo Wars?
real-time strategy guy, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
At least I got
All right.
the Halo franchise. I'll take
You
that.
did.
Take that.
That shows that you listen and you care.
I do care.
All right. For Israel, how many tattoos does Cam have on his legs?
On his legs.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't even know.
You don't know how many tattoos you have? Oh, we're in trouble
Oh,
here.
let me count.
I'm looking at his arms. I feel like it's got like
He doesn't have nearly as many tattoos on his legs, but he does have a fair amount.
yeah.
I think it's also funny that he doesn't know off the top of his head. That means you have too many tattoos, Cam.
That's right. Have you don't have any plans to get any more tattoos, do you?
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, I plan on covering them actually. It's too much open space.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get a tattoo. My next tattoo is going to be right behind on my neck, behind my ear. I think I'm going to do something like that.
Do you know what it is?
Not yet, no.
I'm just stalling.
He's stalling. Just throw out a number.
4.
Oh, it's got
way. I got way more than that. I got way more.
Really? I guess I just don't pay attention to your legs.
He's in the double digits for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in the double digits. I got. Man. Are you ready for this? I counted 11.
What?
Yeah, I have 11.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I have my bat from Austin. I got my shark bite. Got the skull and rose, the scythe, and then the beer bottles clinking on my feet. And then I got the LA and skeleton hands on my other foot, my spiderweb knee, my American traditional, my Sydney peach, my Friday the 13th snake, and then my War Toads logo.
Oh my goodness. I do not pay attention to your legs as much as I pay attention to your arms.
I think
that's a compliment.
That is.
Also, usually his
honestly,
legs
I think I got big old legs. I think I would want you to pay more attention to my legs because I think I got nice legs.
Oh my god!
Listen, you're not just some piece of meat to me, Cameron. You're my friend.
Yeah, you think I'm just a piece of meat.
All right, and this is for both of you. Okay.
Okay.
This is a bonus one. All right. What branch did my grandfather serve in, and what war did he fight in?
He was in the Air Force, and he fought in
World War II?
No.
Vietnam.
I thought it was the Korean War.
Korean War? Let's say Korean War. I'll say Korean War.
He was Air Force because that's what made you want to become a pilot, but you couldn't because you're too tall.
They called you.
It's because my eyes aren't good.
Oh, your eyes aren't good?
Yeah, but in hindsight, I could have still become like a bomber pilot. Yeah. It was the Air Force, and it was Vietnam.
It was Vietnam.
Yeah. Vietnam. He flew an F4 in Vietnam.
Oh, yes.
Oh, nice.
Nice. F4. F5.
F4 yep. Phantom?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
F4. All right. That's it. That's the game.
Nice.
Thanks, Chris. What a great episode, man. It's a really I liked all the questions. They made you think, and they're kind of fun too. So
yeah, and you saw how much we don't actually know about each other, even though we spend so much goddamn time together. We gotta listen more. We gotta listen more to each other, buddy.
Yeah, eye contact when we talk to each other from now on. Cam.
Sounds good to me, man. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed that episode. A special thanks to Magic Voice Chris for coming up with this one. Yeah, baby, I am ready for the next one. I don't want to cut that out. That was weird.
Chris, why don't you say whatever we do? Why don't you say the cue music?
Cue music.
What's going on, everybody? You just listened to the free version of the PCFM podcast. If you want full-length versions of podcast episodes, plus much, much more, head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/PCFM podcast.
That is right, Israel. If you want access to this full episode, you have to subscribe to the Fuzzy Private tier, which is our cheapest tier on Patreon at $5 a month. But if you are interested in a little bit more, we also have the Salty Sergeant tier at $8 a month and the Lifer tier at $12 a month. So hopefully we will see you there, PCFM family. Cue music.